Good morning, SKN. I'm Cortenta Carty.
And I'm Karina.
She will be guest hosting today as Jamie's a bit under the weather. So we would like to wish him here at Good Morning SKN a speedy recovery. So Karina, thanks so much for joining us this morning. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm excited for this morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we are delighted indeed to have you. So we will begin today with our guest.
Yes, we will have a female-dominated show today, which is exciting.
Indeed. We have Miss Marquisa O'Loughlin. She'll speak on savings. We have Charmin Davis. She speaks on oral health. Blestina, our songstress. And Mistress Nicole Ward Morris. And so much more, including our guest host, Karina. So you have to stay tuned. But we will begin this morning with the latest. This from Win Media. The Ministry of Tourism in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis launched its calendar of activities to commemorate Tourism Awareness Month in November. The activities will run from November the 1st to November 27th under the theme Immerse, Indulge, Renew, Rethinking Tourism 2022. On November the 1st, 2022, Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Marsha Henderson, will address the nation. On November 2nd and November 4th, 2022, the ministry will host workshops focusing on St. Kitts culture and heritage. A beach cleanup will be carried out at Majors Bay on November 5th, followed by Sunday worship at the Antioch Baptist Church on November 6th. On November 9th, 2022, there will be an industry talk at the CFBC, whilst on November 10th, a marketing and energy conservation workshop will be hosted. Other activities include the launch of Tourism Festival on November the 11th, Battle Royale, Tourism Fun Day on November 12th, Talk in School series from November the 14th to 18th, Staff Development Day on November 17th, and Energy, Health and Tourism Fair on November 18th.
So, sounds like a packed November.
Indeed, a packed calendar for Tourism Month.
ICA hosts Accountability Seminar and celebrates the 30th anniversary of operation in the Federation from SKNIS. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture delegation held its Accountability Seminar 2022 at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort on Thursday, the 27th of October. During the seminar, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Marine Resources, and Cooperatives St. Kitts, Miguel Fleming, delivered remarks on behalf of the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Samuel Duggins, and used the opportunity to share his hopes of strengthening the partnership between ICCA and the ministry. He said, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis is on the verge of transforming agriculture, as this is clear with the recently completed growth strategy from 2022 to 2031. It is safe to say that we can't achieve this transformation alone, and we look forward to working with ICCA and other allied institutions, farmers, fishers, and cooperatives, public and private partners to get us there. Mr. Fleming made further remarks highlighting the impact of ICCA's presence in the Federation. He spoke of the newfound realization of the agricultural sector's importance during times of crisis.
That's good, because we need agriculture, so should we have a next pandemic, we can afford to feed ourselves.
Exactly. Sustainability is key.
Indeed. We continue now. Miss Talented Teen Pageant contestants reveal this from Win Media. The St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Miss Talented Teen Pageant returns in 2022 after a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee, 9 ambassadors from 9 high schools in St. Kitts and Nevis will be contesting this year's pageant. Miss Keon High School, Brianna Paul, Miss Washington Archibald High School, Kajoy Isaac, Miss Charles E. Mills Secondary School, Sia Mason, Miss Virchilds High School, Takila Hart Johnson, Miss Baste High School, Zara Humphrey. Miss Immaculate Conception Catholic School, Michaela Martin. Miss Gingerland Secondary School, Hadassah Daniel. Miss Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, Malia Erskine. Miss Advanced Vocational Education Center, Rihanna Hodge. Mr. Javon Nibert, chair of the Talented Teen Subcommittee, says patrons should expect a bigger show with more exciting girls and more exciting segments this year. Libert also explained how women could benefit from pageantry and encourage interested women to push forward in that regard.
Sounds like it's going to be quite the show this year.
And I love queen shows.
There we go.
There. Alrighty, now for the weather.
For the weather forecast, we have mostly cloudy with a high of 84 degrees and a low of 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
A beautiful day indeed. I hope it doesn't get too hot, though.
Correct.
I really hope it doesn't. We'll take a break and we'll be back with regional and international news. We do advise that you stay tuned.
Cheers.
An exotic experience.
Oh, come here.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes.
When you feel it shaking and it's swimming around, you see the ocean gone left the fish on the sand. You should run, run, run to high ground, a tsunami soon come.
Mommy, uncle not here in the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see Sammy.
When you feel the earth shaking and it's moving all around, you see the ocean gone left the fish on the sand. You should run, run, run to higher ground, a tsunami soon come.
Good morning, SKN. Welcome back. My name is Karina Gianchandani, and I'm one of your guest hosts for today, alongside Cortencia. We now continue with the latest in regional news. Knowledge is power. Guyana's First Lady completes her master's degree from Loop Caribbean. Guyanese First Lady, Aria Ali, was among hundreds of smiling students who graduated on Friday from the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. Mrs. Ali earned an International Master's of Business Administration with a Strategy and Competitiveness specialization from the Arthur Lockjack Global School of Business. Mrs. Ali adds the MBA to her bachelor's degree in economics and postgraduate diploma in development studies, which she obtained from the University of Guyana. President Dr. Mohammed Ifran Ali congratulated his wife on her achievement, given her busy schedule, which includes being a full-time mother to their young son Zaid and the duties of the First Lady. On social media, Mrs. Ali was also congratulated and hailed as an inspiration for women and young mothers to follow their dreams. One person wrote on Facebook, "This is awesome, congratulations. This is a typical example of determination and other young ladies should follow to educate themselves." Another person wrote, "Congratulations on your success, First Lady. Keep following your dreams."
Congratulations from us here as well.
Congrats.
And it proves that you can be a mom and you can still go after your dreams and you can accomplish it regardless. You just have to be dedicated.
Exactly.
Put your time in it. We continue now with international news. Incredible bird of endangered baby rhino is captured on zoo's cameras and galloping within minutes. This from the Good News Network. Zookeepers in England were thrilled to watch their recent rhino give birth to a calf who was up and charging around within hours of accommodating herself to the world. The bird was captured in the late afternoon on the Chester's Zoo video camera. The calf was born already weighing a hefty 120 pounds, 50 kg, and will grow to around 1.7 tons. That's 1.7 tons. 15-year-old mom, Asha, is an endangered great one-horn rhino and has been pregnant for 15 months. Heartwarming video footage show the youngster arriving into the world before Asha turns around to nuzzle her newborn tenderly, while adorable photos show the new arrival already trying to run, sporting the same slightly wrinkled armored plating as his parents. Sam Harley, rhino team manager at the Chester Zoo, said, and quote, "We're absolutely thrilled with Asha and her new arrival. On the day the calf was born, we noticed that Asha was uncharacteristically lethargic and off her food, so we had a suspicion that she was soon to give birth."
I love me some baby rhinos.
It's so cute, right?
I know.
If we can just take one home.
Correct.
But then they grow.
Correct.
So no.
And I also wouldn't want a rhino pregnant for 15 months. That sounds like a lot.
No, imagine we do 10 months. So she has to do 5 more months than us. Wow.
Correct.
That's a long time. That's a long time. Well, folks, there you have it for the latest in regional and international news. So much more. And we will continue with our guest host, Karina, after this. Stay tuned.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First, you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events. from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16 and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me know in that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said, when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes!
When you feel like shaking and it's moving around, you see the ocean gone left with fish on the sand. You should run, run, run. The higher ground, a tsunami soon come.
Mommy, Uncle not here and the other shake. Hush your mouth. Daddy, Uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know. Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see Sammy.
When you feel the earth shaking and it's moving all around, you see the ocean gone left the fish on the sand. You should run, run, run. The higher ground, a tsunami soon come.
Good morning, SKN, and welcome back. I'm your guest host this morning, Karina Gyanchandani. Every day, we're reminded of how important it is to save money and avoid overspending. But what about an entire day devoted to the promotion of savings? World Savings Day was established on October 31st, 1924, during the first International Savings Bank Congress in Milan, Italy. This day is devoted to the promotion of savings. In addition, the day highlights the necessity of saving for the future. We're joined here by Marquisa O'Loughlin, Business Development Manager of First Federal Credit Union, to discuss the importance of saving and its impact on the way we think about the future of money. Marquisa, welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Good morning, everyone.
So I guess one of our first questions is, how important is it for people to save?
Well, I would say, coming off the heels of the pandemic especially, I think that's self-explanatory. We all know how important it is to save. Simple things like having a rainy day fund, an emergency fund, or just having that peace of mind that you have a backup plan in the event that you need to tap into it. Also, some of us, we prefer to have those small indulgences like perhaps a vacation, hair, nails. You need money for all those things. I know I do. So just having something in the piggy bank is always good so that you're able to finance your lifestyle as well as live a happy and fulfilling life.
Right, right.
So what are the different types of savings? I'm going to ask for the short term and the long term.
Okay. So short-term savings can be thought of savings product that you have deposits, you deposit typically for. So at First Federal, we have specific savings type that we deem short-term because you withdraw your deposit and there are no penalties for withdrawing or depositing and that money. You do it whenever you want. It's your money, it's fully accessible. One of those types of savings would be called our First Choice Savings Account, and that actually generates 2.5% interest. So that's like your everyday savings. Now we have long-term savings, and most people know them as fixed deposits. Some people call them term deposits. Other institutions call them certificates of deposits. Things like these types of savings, you typically find there's a fixed term on it. So you have a sum of money and you put it there and you can't touch it. However, the reward for not touching it and for being disciplined is that you get a higher interest rate. At First Federal, we give up to 4.5% on this type of savings products. So you can consider it like savings investment in that sense. It's long term, but it generates a high return and it gives you value for your money. So those are two different types between short-term and long-term savings.
Great. In terms of saving habits, let's talk about the good and the bad.
Some you see good savings, bad savings. Okay. So we live in a society, I know, where some people have informal, I'll call them informal savings. Let's try informal, okay? So informal savings, you may have things like what we know as susu or partner hands, where it is a type of savings and it does work for some. I'm not going to knock it. However, there's a risk component to it where you're literally giving someone who's not regulated by any regulator your money to hold for you with the hope that you get it back at some point. And the more persons who are in this susu or partner hand, the more likely or the higher risk it is because you have so many different variables. And you know, the sad stories come, oh, my child needed to go to the dentist, or, you know, you're dependent on people with everyday lives, and they probably do have everyday emergencies, and they might not be able to contribute 1 month, and before you know it, it falls apart. So that's one type of informal savings that it can work, but there's a high risk component to it. Okay, so good savings now, where I would typically encourage anyone to find an institution. It doesn't have to be mine, but of course I'm gonna tell you to come to First Federal.
I like that.
But you find an institution that you're comfortable with. Typically, I'd say credit unions always tend to generate higher rates of interest on your savings product. You find a product that works for you. We have customized, we actually take pride in having customized savings products at First Federal. So savings for different purposes. For example, we have a youth savings account. We have a First Choice savings account. That's what I said, it's for everyday use. We have a My Goal savings. That's as the name suggests, that's literally if you have a goal and you want to save towards it, you save towards your goal, whether it be a vacation, maybe a down payment on your home, buying a new car, whatever that looks like for you. We also have what we call a multiplier savings, and that's the savings of all savings. This product was specially designed with persons who are serious about savings. I say this because it requires discipline. You must deposit at least $100 per month, or to break it down, $25 a week. And once you do this, you're able to get 3.5% on your monies, and this is compounded monthly. The 3.5% is an annual rate, of course, but it's compounded monthly, so you get a chance to build up your savings more quickly, and you get rewarded for that discipline of at least bringing that $25 a week. So those are different types of savings. I'll say informal and formal savings that you would want to consider. I know some people say, you know, I rather keep my money under bed. that also has a risk component to it. Informal, again, that's an informal type of savings. Under your bed, there's no interest. Whatever money you put there last Christmas, that's the money you're going to find.
Sometimes the interest isn't a lot, so you tend to want to keep it under there or in the plastic piggy bank.
I'm saying, what? What if there's a fire? It's gone. At least you could bring it to me. bring it to me, and you know it's safe.
Yes. Well, with Marquisa, at least we know your money will be making
Bring it to me. Just bring it to me.
All right, Marcus, we're going to take a short break, and after this, we're going to come back with so much more. So, viewers, stay tuned as we continue to learn how to save our monies for a rainy day.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are continuing our discussion with Marquisa O'Loughlin, Business Development Manager for the First Federal Credit Union, on this World Savings Day. So Marquisa, you were talking about making the $25 a priority. Would you say you believe in the 80-20 rule?
When it comes to theories on savings, I like to say savings is personal. There is no one rule, albeit I'll agree that there's some good rules out there to provide guidance, and that's just what it is, guidance. But I would say savings is personal. You know what your needs are, you know how you must balance your wants and needs, you know what you can dedicate to savings. So I typically do not advise people to stay hard and fast with rules. There's so many out there. I know there's 50, 30, 20, there's 80, 20. There are quite a few rules out there. I do think, though, in terms of benchmarking, that 20%, it is a good yardstick, I think. If you could save 20% of your monies every month, that would be awesome. But some of us, we just have to be more realistic. If that looks like 10%, kudos to you, because what it is, the 80-20 rules, just for the viewing audience, it's we're saying at least 20% of your funds should be saved, whatever that looks like for your monthly income. And 80% of that can be divided into your wants and needs. And typically some theories break it down into 50% for your needs, 30% for your wants, and then that last 20 is for your savings. So hence the 80-20 rule. But I would say, again, savings is personal. So whatever your saving goal looks like, that's the one that you should just dedicate to, stick to. You must know what works, what can work for you.
Indeed.
Of course. And to your point, with savings being personal, you know, we often think about how we want to save for our families and our children. So when should individuals think about getting started for savings for children?
Never too early. It is never too early. I know some individuals have some very good saving habits. For example, they begin saving as soon as their child is born. And at First Federal, we accommodate those types of savings accounts. We call it the My First Savings. You get it? My First. So the My First Savings account is truly your child's first savings account. And named after First Federal, of course. So that savings account, you typically only need $5 to start that savings, and you can actually have something for your child when they grow up. Also, it gives you opportunity to teach your child how to save. If that looks like an allowance, you give your child maybe a $10 allowance, you tell them, maybe go with the 80-20 rule.
Yes,
So you tell them, save that $2, put it on your savings, and you actually bring them to the institution. Some schools, and I know Sunday schools as well, have that component to it. So if you go to a school or Sunday school, you encourage your child to save. So I think it's very important to start from early, build those habits early on, let them even see you save, and that helps them in the long run. When they become adults, it's already inculcated into them, so they get the opportunity to just have savings become first nature.
Right, right.
Exactly. So you keep telling our viewers to come to me, come to me. Why? I want to know the big why. Why should we come to First Federal?
So firstly, as I mentioned previously, First Federal has custom tailored savings products. I believe a savings product for every type of saving goals, every type of saving need that you may have. So if you think about a saving goal, perhaps a vacation, we have a My Goal savings. We also have what you call, in the credit union sense, the Christmas savings.
Yes.
And what's unique about our Christmas savings is it's called Anytime Christmas, and there's no limitation on when you can join the savings. Most institutions, they say like, to save for December, you have to come by January or February. We're saying, if you could start saving in March, April, June, July, whatever that looks like for Christmas, please come. I don't want to put any hindrance on you having an attempt to save your money. So at First Federal, that's one of the things we do. Also, as I mentioned, we have some of the more competitive rates on the market. Fixed deposits up to 4.5%. That is not typical. That is actually a very big deal.
Big deal.
So if you are an investor, as I mentioned, let's get it out from under your bed and bring it to me. So that 4.5% product for fixed deposits, that's actually very compelling. So that's one of the reasons. Besides that, at First Federal Credit Union, we say yes. We say yes to excellent service, personalized service. When we come to First Federal, you're family. So that's what I want. That if that's a message that I can leave with your viewing audience today, that's what I want to leave with them.
When you come to First Federal, your family.
Exactly.
That rhymes. That sounds so nice.
And, you know, I think a lot of people sort of think about some of the negatives and the positives to having other options like partner hands. Can you talk through that with us?
Okay, so the negatives, as I mentioned, for partner hands, is that you want to know that your money is safe ultimately.
Right.
It's very difficult for someone to really save, because how the partner hand works, similarly to our multiplier, you have to give that consistent monthly or weekly input. For that 1 week where someone else, say there's 12 of you in that hand, for that 1 week where someone else is unable to meet their commitment, because this is not just, you're not just relying on you, you're relying on you plus 11 others.
Right. Yes.
So for that one time that someone is unable to meet their commitment, it puts a strain on the entire group. It causes stress.
Correct.
I've seen those WhatsApp status, those social media blasts about the partner hands. I want my money.
Yeah, exactly.
But truly, there's nothing that you can do. Because even law enforcement typically would not get involved in something like that to try to get back your money from a partner hand.
Yeah.
So typically for partner hands, it's a risk because you're relying on other persons to keep your money safe, and you're relying on other persons' input, and you have no control over that. At least with a financial institution, you're able to have that one-on-one relationship, and again, it's your money in a deposit account that is safe for you to come and get your money when you need it. Right. So again, if you think of our multiplier account, if you're used to the partner hand and you like how it works for you, and you've never been burned,
right?
A multiplier is also a good option because it's a similar $25 a week. You get an interest on it. You get back your monies at the end of a fixed period. So that's something that if you have the discipline, it's a very good alternative to a partner hand, and it provides a much safer option.
Right, right.
So Marquise, in our final moments, can you let our viewing public know, since you say come to me, where they can either get to you or others in your institution to start their savings?
Fantastic. So first of all, we're in a virtual world, and if you're looking at me, you're probably online anyways. So you can visit us at www.firstfederalcreditunion.com. You're going to see quite a few of those products that we discussed, and they're right down our website. Also, we have 3 convenient branches. Firstly, we're located at Bladen Commercial Development, Also, we have a branch at downtown Central Street. It's called our Personal Banking Center. It's actually a bank cafe, so you could have a cup of coffee, get a smoothie while we open your account for you. Also, we have a branch in Nevis, and it's right there on Chapel Street. So we have 3 convenient locations. Also, if you just want to just pick up the phone and give us a call, dial us at 466-3477. And lastly, we're on almost all the social media platforms. So find us on FB, IG, YouTube. You find us everywhere. And our handle is at First Federal CU. So if you go on Facebook, just type in First Federal Credit Union, or you can type in that handle and you're going to find us. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you so much. That bank cafe sounds like a fantastic idea.
You must visit sometime.
I will definitely be visiting you there.
It's called the First Cafe. It's called the First Cafe by Sweet and Savory. So you must visit sometime.
Very nice.
So you guys have what we call partnerships.
Yes,
Lovely.
yes, of course.
Indeed. Well, Marquiso, thank you so much for coming and enlightening us on savings and why it is important to save and why it is also important to take our money to the bank and not keep it under our beds. So viewers, there you have it, Marquisa O'Loughlin. Stay tuned, so much more after this short break.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Good morning, SKN. Welcome back to Connections, where we connect you, our viewers, with other petitions and divisions in the diaspora. Today, here to discuss the importance of dental hygiene and its lasting effect, she is our very own Charmaine Davis from St. Kitts and Nevis, now living and working in Brooklyn, New York. She is no stranger to the media, as she has been featured on CNN and was recently named one of the top 25 women in dentistry. Charmaine, good morning and welcome to Good Morning SKN. It's our pleasure having you on this morning.
Morning, Charmaine.
Good morning. It's a pleasure being here with you guys this morning. Thank you guys for having me.
You are certainly welcome. So let's begin with your journey to becoming a dental hygienist. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, interestingly enough, when I was a child in in elementary school in St. Kitts, we had a missionary trip from the U.S. And I remembered admiring this, what we call now a dental nurse. And I remember telling her I was on my way to the U.S. This was in 1985 when we were coming here. And told her I wanted to be just like her. 30-something odd years later, I'm in the same position she is. And I'm grateful for that opportunity.
That's sweet. So did you falter anywhere along your journey to becoming a dental hygienist? Were there days when you'd be like, this is just not for me?
Oh, most definitely. I was originally a student for dental assisting at New York University College of Dentistry. That was very challenging because I was a single mom and my son was about 4 years old at the time. But I struggled, but hey, sometimes you have to stand firm to what your beliefs and what your goals are. And I stood firm to it. I had hurdles where I was in the room and I looked nothing like anyone else in the room. Different circumstances would allow me to move forward, but I decided that this was going to be my profession. And because of that, I stood firm to what my goals were.
Oh, congratulations on sticking with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Charmaine, you are the CEO behind Wings of a Dove Foundation. Tell us a bit more about this.
Well, Wings of a Dove Foundation was founded in memory of my mom, Florence Davis. About 10 and a half years ago, my mom called me, one of the most devastating calls as a child and as a dental professional. She told me she was drinking soup and she couldn't swallow. Right away, I knew something was definitely wrong. As a dental professional, we know what that sounds like. Turns out, after going through many doctor's appointments, doing many tests, she was diagnosed with stage 3 squamous cell, what you call squamous cell carcinoma of the head and neck and the esophagus. And she was given 3 months to live. But because of the grace of God, she lived 22 months. So I was able to do things with her. After she passed, I started Wings of a Dove Foundation because one of the things that she wasn't able to see when I was a kid in St. Kitts, I was a track star, as most people would say. She never saw me run any races. But I remembered in her last days, she said to me, I'm giving you this baton. You must finish my race. And I started this foundation in memory of her. So I would go around to the community. I joined organizations, the Oral Cancer Foundation. I became ambassadors. And I literally went out and spoke to anyone who would listen to me and say, it's important to have your oral examination checked. You should visit your dentist at least twice a year. It's important to have oral cancer screening. It's so very vital to us as in the oral cavity, as well as in the overall health to reach optimal health in our system. So this is in memory of her. And due to COVID, unfortunately, we haven't done anything in the last 3 years. So we'll see what happens for next year.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a beautiful way to keep your mother's memory alive.
Indeed. Continued sympathies here from Good Morning SKN. So you speak about oral cancer. How does oral cancer and dental hygiene, I want to say correlate, or are they related to each other in some form?
Yes, oral health disease is often referred to as a silent epidemic that is affecting our most vulnerable citizens, right? So most people don't realize the correlation between dental health and medical health. Unfortunately, we in the dental professions, we try to educate our patients in the community that there is a correlation. Many diseases in the body, which are chronic diseases, tend to manifest itself in the oral cavity. And most of them, usually we will see them firsthand as dental hygienists. So our role, even though it's mid-level in the dental community, we can actually help save lives. And I noticed I said help. We do not diagnose. So we definitely can catch these abnormalities, as we would call them, firsthand and take care of them sooner rather than later.
Of course. And I think to your point, getting people on board and educated about oral hygiene is so important. So for you on your end, what are some of the challenges that you face with getting people educated? And then on the other hand, how do you help sort of bring fun to that awareness and getting people into oral hygiene education?
Well, my experience on education patient is oral health, is making sure that patients are well informed of the importance of the oral health cavity. This can help curb fear and anxiety and other barriers they may face. And as stated before, oral health diseases are often referred to as a silent epidemic that is affecting most vulnerable citizens, children from families with low incomes, children from racial and ethnic minority groups, and children with special health care needs. It is not unusual to learn of children who are suffering from pain or untreated oral infections and decay. Some of the barriers that they face are financial hardship, and as I said before, fear, geographic location, lack of insurance, poor oral health literacy, language, education, which is my number one priority, or cultural barriers. We go into the community and we educate the community. My focus is usually on the children because most of us, as we know, once we get older, we stay firm in our ways and we don't change our habits. So educating the children plays a bigger role, because if I say to one child, you should brush twice a day for 2 minutes, you should floss once a day, they may go home and educate their parents, their grandparents, and that behavior just might change. So that's where my focus is really.
You are the founder and now the ambassador of Give a Child a Smile. And I know you just spoke along those lines. How important is it that kids smile? How does it boost their self-esteem?
Well, I'm not the founder. I'm one of the ambassadors of the Give Kids a Smile program. It's a huge organization here. The American Dental Association houses this, and they're the ones who are in charge of our licensing. And we have a side program called the Give Kids a Smile. We normally go around the country, and the first Friday in February, we recognize that because we realize there are a lot of cavities in a lot of children's teeth, and they are caused by breakdown on the tooth enamel by acids produced by bacteria located in plaque that collects on teeth. We have to make sure that we educate the population, the people who are underrepresented, the ones who are unemployed, parents who can't get to these locations to make sure that their children are taken care of properly. So we do this once a year. It's something that I'm really excited about. I've been doing for the past 9-10 years, and it's something that I continue to look forward to doing because this allows me to reach a broader area in communities where we don't normally would actually frequent.
Nice. Keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So Charmaine, you know, I really admire your passion towards education.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, I know you've been featured on CNN. Tell us a little bit more about that experience.
Well, that's an interesting situation. My CNN interview was a precursor for something that I wasn't aware of. I was new to the office that I was working in, and I had a patient. I remembered exactly like it was yesterday. I had a 10 a.m. patient, and he walked in, introduced myself as normal. And I went through taking the x-rays, doing my comprehensive examination, periodontal probing, making sure that all of my procedure work and that all of my materials are set up. Continue with the cleaning, went over oral hygiene, and brought the dentist in to do the exam. At the end of the appointment, this gentleman said to me, he says, "I love what you do. I've been to many dental offices previously, and no hygienists have educated me or shared all of these information that you have." He said, I work for CNN. We would love to interview. We've been looking to feature dental hygienists for the past 6 months and have not been able to find one who can actually fill into the void of what we're looking for, and you fit that criteria. And he said, would you be interested? And within 24 hours, I was all over the internet pretty much, and that was my highlight. That was definitely my highlight. So I was able to educate on that video, but one of the most important things that most people asked me about in that video, even though I was featured on that big area of television, at the end of that video, I had a light that I shined into the patient's mouth, and that is called what you call a Velscope. A Velscope is an instrument that we use that will allow us to see any abnormalities in the mouth that can possibly be cancer. And that's one of the most important things that I use when I do a comprehensive exam or oral cancer screening on all of my adult patients. That is so important. It is so vital for us to understand how important it is to do an oral cancer screening and to do a comprehensive exam every time we see a patient, whether it's a 3-month recall visit for maintenance or a 6 months visit for a routine checkup. It's very important that we stress how important that is.
Okay, but Sharma, we'll take a short break and we'll continue with this education that we're receiving afterwards. Viewers, stay tuned. Much more after this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi. If you are a smoker, please pay attention to this message. According to the World Health Organization, there are 1.3 billion smokers in the world today, and tobacco kills 1 out of every 2 smokers. Did you know that there is enough nicotine in 5 cigarettes to kill an average adult if ingested whole? There are more than 7,000 chemicals in tobacco smoke, of which more than 250 are known to be harmful. More than 69 are known to cause cancer, and 16 are classified as Group 1 carcinogens. Smoking kills. Are you ignoring that warning every time you smoke? Please stop. Smoking can lead to severe health complications and even death. It affects almost every organ in the body, especially the lungs and heart. It raises blood pressure, increases blood clots, and increases the risk of stroke, heart attack, and cancer. It is hard to quit smoking, but it is not impossible. Don't let tobacco destroy you. Remember the 4 Ds to curb your tobacco cravings. 1. Delay. Set a time limit before you decide to smoke. 2. Drink water. Go get a drink before you do anything else. 3. Do something else. Have a goodie bag handy of other things to do. And 4, deep breathing. Take at least 10 deep breaths every time you think about smoking. Quit smoking and live a longer and happier life. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN as we continue now with dental hygienist Charmaine Davis. You spoke about oral cancer. Can you highlight some of the signs that it is present that you would look for?
Well, there's no actual science to actually say this is a certain type of cancer, but what we know clinically from our training is anything that's abnormal. We normally will see something simple as a lump, a bump, a bruise, a redness. Any of those things could be any kind of abnormalities. The only way we can find that out is actually referring a patient out to an oral surgeon or specialist to do a where we do a biopsy and refer it to them to get a definitive diagnosis.
Right. And you've also been an ordained minister for the last 7 years. Tell us how you've been able to incorporate this into your work as a hygienist and in also reaching underprivileged communities.
Oh, awesome. That's dear to my heart. Yes, I was ordained as a missionary a couple of years ago through the Emmanuel Church of God. My bishop, thank you so much, Kurt Courtney and his wife, our First Lady, Araceli Courtney. Actually, as soon as I was ordained, within a year, I went to my bishop and I expressed to him what my concerns were for the community, and that I was a part of the Give Kids a Smile program for the American Dental Association. He said one of the things that he loves most is when we serve. And I said to him, I said, if you give me an opportunity, I can bring this type of care and access to the underserved and privileged. What better way to do it than to go to your church and ask your bishop for an opportunity like this, which he and his wife, Pastor Araceli Courtney, pretty much opened the doors and gave me an opportunity to do so. And I'm grateful for that. We have the community come in. Community leaders were present. We were featured on one of the local channels. We were able to see 35 kids. We did oral health education. We did fluoride treatment. We did some sealants on the kids that were in need of it. And we also educated the children on why it's important to see the dental hygienist or go to a dentist at least twice a year. That was a big opportunity for me. So most of the work that I do, I always go to the churches first and try to build relationships with the head leaders of those organizations, because they have what I call the power to get anybody from the community in. So I use it as a stepping stone for me, where I could actually provide this type of quality service for the community. So I'm grateful for that.
That's fantastic.
Charmaine, I got a big one for you.
What's the
Are there
big
any
one?
So are there any challenges you would have experienced in the industry being a woman of color, and how have you managed to change this narrative?
Well, there has been lots of challenge. When I was a student at NYU in the dental hygiene program, I was one of 4 African Americans, minority, I would say. Graduating, I was 2 graduated from that program of 75 students. There were challenges. I worked full-time. I worked 7 days a week, 2 jobs, and I went to school in the evening. It was very challenging, and having a young child. There are many times that I walk into rooms and no one looks like me. There are many times when I've been judged, I've been excluded. There's sometimes where I've faced racism and their loneliness. Although I've had great success, received several accolades, treated some of Hollywood's best, I've traveled nationally providing dental care to the underserved, underrepresented, and uninsured. I've been on many platforms as guest speaker, represents major companies as ambassadors. I am proud and I'm humbled, but these are where these successes came, but I've met with many challenges, which I've listed before. How I came over it, I stay on my knees. I don't like to be kept in a box. Right. I'm strong-willed. I have what you call tough skin, and being an ordained missionary, I believe firmly in the grace of God. He covers me at all times. I have to believe that everything that he said and promised me is going to come to pass. And with all of this, knowing when I was in elementary school that this was going to be my calling, here I am 30-something plus years later, sitting on this telephone, on this interview with you, I'm sorry. The challenges were challenges. I've overcome most of them, and whatever comes towards me, God is going to handle it all. I'm a firm believer in that. So I don't let anything bother me so much as it takes over my whole being, but I just let God do, and I know who I am and whose I am. So God is in control of this journey.
Absolutely, and that's very empowering.
Yes.
Charmaine, as a parting question, what professional lessons have you learned while working in the U.S. that you would like to see in St. Kitts?
Wow, my goodness. I'd like for you to repeat that question for me again.
Sure. Professional lessons that you have learned while on your journey in dental hygiene that you would like to see in St. Kitts?
Access to quality dental care. How interesting you say that, but we'll probably have another interview in the future about that.
Absolutely.
I actually was just in St. Kitts in August.
Ooh, okay.
I had to say, it was 34 years before I actually came back to St. Kitts after losing my dad.
Wow. Sorry about that.
My eyes opened up, because when you work in a profession, the first thing in dentistry, the first thing you look at is people's mouth. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there's a lot of things going on here. And I have a cousin, Arlene, that works in a special needs school that my heart melts for. One of my areas that I love working in is special needs. I love taking care of that population. And she voiced to me there were concerns about the dental part of it. And I said to her, well, there's a lot of things that I have experience in here in the US that will give me opportunities to come to St. Kitts and be able to open up that conversation, open up that dialect, and have some kind of information that I can share, but not only share, but to educate and possibly be able to treat. So who knows what will happen in the future? Maybe you guys can welcome me back and we can make some changes.
Ooh, I like that.
There we go. And we would be more than happy to. Charmaine, thank you so much for joining us today on Good Morning SKN. We'll be back right after this break.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure indeed.
You see that new boy that just joined the school last week? He brought me a chocolate this morning because I showed him the way home from school yesterday.
You like him?
No, he's just my friend. Plus, he is my neighbor. He asked me if we can walk home together for lunch tomorrow, and I told him yes.
I don't like these big boys. They tend to like to touch girls without your consent.
What do you mean by consent?
It's when one person agrees to give permission to another person to do something.
He is cute though. Guys, you won't believe what happened the other day with the new boy from school.
What happened?
The other day, while walking home with the new guy, he followed me into my house. I thought it was okay because he seemed friendly and respectful. So I turned on the TV and offered him a soda. We sat in the chair together. Then he leaned over and kissed me. I was so shocked I sat up straight and asked him why he did that. He said he thought I liked him. I told him not in that way.
What? Girl, you should have never allowed him inside your parents' home. My parents will be very angry if they meet any boys in our home plus kissing me. Guys, we don't need to be burdened down with teen pregnancy and relationship problems at this time. Boys need to understand that girls are not sex objects.
Remember, you have the right to consent to every activity being performed, from holding hands to anything more, and to change your mind at any time. If your partner does not respect your wishes, this also is a form of abuse. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children. Settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes! When you feel it shaking and it's moving around, you see the ocean gone left the fish and the sand. You should run, 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 the higher ground, a tsunami soon come.
Mommy, Uncle not here and the other shake. Hush your mouth. Daddy, Uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami I come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know. Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see Sammy.
When you feel the earth shaking and it's moving all around, you see the ocean gone left the fish and the sand. You should run, 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 the higher ground, a tsunami soon come.
Good morning, SKN. I'm your co-host for this morning, Karina Gyanchandani. Last Friday, 28th of October, Blestina Childs released her new song entitled Freedom, and she's here to enlighten us all on the meaning behind this song. Blestina, welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Hi, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
So this is exciting. Freedom is finally out.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the lead up to the release, what that was like for you, both mentally and emotionally.
It was a lot, but more so, it was a positive experience because this is something that I would have wanted to do for years. I wrote the song in 2019, and then I started producing the song in 2021, started collaborating with some Antiguans. They worked on the track, the music for it. But for some time, I tried to work out the logistics of getting the video done, who would get the video done, getting financing for the video. And it was an amazing feeling knowing that it was being produced and knowing that the moment had finally come for me to release the song. And from the moment that we started sharing snippets on Facebook and snippets on Instagram, the reception was really amazing. So that made me feel really good, and I'm grateful that it finally came off.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I heard there's many congratulations in order. You graduated, you have the video, you have the song, everything's working out in your favor.
Yes, thank God.
Indeed. So you mentioned a bit on the feedback. Now that the song is out, accompanied fully with the video, how has that feedback been?
It has been amazing, and I think the reception has been good, and even more so because of the message behind the song and because persons can relate to it, you know, they can relate to the mental health aspect of it. Many times persons experience mental health challenges, they don't know who to talk to. So I'm grateful that this song provides, you know, not only the directory for people to contact persons, but some sort of solace so that persons know that, you know, you're not alone in your experience. Persons can relate to you and you will overcome with the right support.
Indeed, indeed.
Absolutely, and I think it's really important to sometimes use music as a way to express emotion that people can really connect with it. So for you on your end, how long did it actually take you to work up to the courage to write about such a vulnerable topic?
It took me a while. Initially, when I wrote the song, I didn't envision it with a music video. I just wrote the song because I wanted to write a reggae song and so on. But as the process continued, I said, you know, the song is about freedom, and I think there's a bigger message to it. So from 2019 up until maybe 2020, 2021, that's when the wheels started turning in my mind. And I was like, you know, I really need to get a music video out because there is this effect that music has on individuals. And I want to collaborate, you know, couple my music with the mental health aspect of it because I have a background in psychology. So I want to relay that to persons. I think it would be more effective for persons to see music being accompanied with a message. It's more effective in persons receiving it that way.
Right.
Is it a mere coincidence that this video is actually released in Mental Health Awareness Month?
No, I was very intentional about that.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Nice. So, the experience, was it difficult finding the words to accurately express your thoughts and feelings through this song?
It was challenging because I try to be really intentional throughout the process. But I think when you write from your heart and you write from a place of authenticity, it becomes a lot easier. So I try to tap into that. I try to, you know, connect with myself and connect with other resources, you know, mental health resources to ensure that I was accurately capturing the essence of the song, the message that I'm trying to create. And from that writing point, that translated into the video and trying to get a full-on project for that.
Right. As a psychology major myself, that actually makes me very happy to hear.
Thank you.
I think that's really empowering for a lot of people who don't have a voice to speak about mental health.
Yes, please.
The video is out, so I think we'd love to take a clip, look at a clip of the music video.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. So most of the concept of the video, was it you alone or you had help?
I had a lot of help. Yes, the videographer is from Antigua, Zia Wiltshire. I had help from my friends, Leandre Dyer, the actors in the video as well. I had help from Abigail Marnix, Mova Daniel, Tricia, and Juan Daniel. A lot of help. And in addition to that, the Nevis Botanical Gardens, they partnered with me on that, and I'm very grateful for that as well as the WIFI program. That's the program that empowers young female entrepreneurs. So I entered that a few months ago, and I got through with the top 9 competitors. So I used the funds to produce the music video.
That's nice.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you.
The imagery in the music video is beautiful.
Thank you.
It certainly sounds like you had a community of people that surrounded you and were able to help bring your vision to life. So what was that experience like for you actually putting the music video together after shooting it?
It was an interesting process because there were a lot of moving parts, but I am so grateful for the persons that I had with me. For example, Zia Wiltshire, the videographer, he's amazing. He gave me a lot of ideas about what to wear and how to put it together. And it's so crazy, the story behind it, because we produced that over the weekend, the Independence weekend, when the storm was coming. And I was like, oh boy, I don't know if this is going to work out, you know. But thankfully it worked out. And I think that builds the story behind it, knowing that we persevered and that somebody's able to be blessed from it now.
Indeed. And not only mental health, but we see it can encourage tourism as well.
Yes, please.
Yes, because people will see the beauty that we have to offer.
Yes, because somebody asked me if it was in Barbados. I said, no, it's in Nevis.
Not a thing, not a thing. Right here, next door. Tell them indeed.
Yes,
tell them indeed. So what was your favorite part when it came to recording at this music video?
Recording, I think the vulnerability of it, the story behind it. I think the part about the grandmother with the person hugging their grandmother in that, because a lot of persons feel like, you know, they can't overcome situations. But just to see the individual, you know, feeling like they were at their lowest, and then at the end of the video to see them graduating, that gives persons a sense of hope. Because many times and quite often persons have hardship and they experience hard situations, and they might feel like there is no way out. So this video is to give persons a sense of hope, to inspire resilience and inspiration for persons.
Certainly, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, definitely.
Right,
Yes.
Obviously, there are many paths, and there's a storyline to the music video. But for you on your end, what was your favorite part of filming the music video itself?
I think being in the Botanical Gardens, I really love India. That is why I chose India. That is one of my favorite places. So I really love being in there. I love nature, and the ambiance is amazing. And just the aerials as well, just looking back and seeing the finished product and just reflecting on the process that it took to make that in the Botanical Gardens and every other scene, it is just amazing.
Indeed. So mental health awareness continues after this month. Do you see the stigma of mental health being lifted in our society?
Well, it's a challenge. And I think awareness helps to break the stigma. Awareness and accurate information. You know, quite often persons have conversations about mental health, but it's not accurate information. There's this stigma and persons spread information about individuals not being able to overcome, and they stigmatize them, they shame them, they ostracize them. So I think accurate information helps to break the stigma. So this is the beginning. So, you know, we can't discount the ripples in the waves, we can't discount the movement that is happening towards breaking the stigma.
And will that continue to be a theme in further songs and albums that you produce moving forward?
Yes, definitely, because I pride myself on being a mental health advocate. So that's something that will be consistent throughout my music.
Very nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
The excitement is building. Where can persons go and listen to Freedom?
Yes, you can go on YouTube at Official Blessina Charles. It is currently streaming on Spotify, on iTunes, and other streaming platforms. You can also follow me on Instagram at Official Blessina Music. You can go on my website at officialblessinamusic.com. Yes, I'm all over social media, and my fan page on Facebook at Blessina.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And if persons, sorry, Corinne, if persons wanted to contact you too, those are the same mediums that they can contact you at? Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
All right.
You have anything else you want
I'm trying to think.
So, Blessina, what's next for you?
What's next? So we will continue on the whole music therapy movement. This is the beginning of the movement, but I'm really particular about trying to, you know, create more music, and I hope to one day be able to release an EP and release a concert to showcase all of my music. So that is somewhat in the works. I'm working on it right now, so that's what's next.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Great. And in terms of music therapy, how did you get into the idea of sort of using music therapy as a way to produce and I guess promote your music?
Well, it was an idea, and I thank Dr. Tamud Petra Brown for highlighting it, because I told her I want to merge my music with my psychology background. And she said, why not music therapy? And I was like, I don't know if I can do that.
And you did that.
And she said, you know, that's imposter syndrome. You need to push yourself. And I am grateful that she gave me the push. And now this is the start of the music therapy movement.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes. I think a lot of people don't realize just how therapeutic music can
Exactly.
be. Oftentimes they associate that with classical music. So I think it's really nice that you're using your platform as a Caribbean artist to bring a different sort of perspective to music therapy.
Yes,
Indeed,
definitely.
indeed.
Thank you.
Indeed. Well, Blessina, it was indeed a pleasure having you.
Yes, my pleasure as well.
You have become a celebrity of Good Morning SKN, and we look forward to seeing you on so many other shows.
Yes,
so
thank
keep
you.
reaching for the stars. Congratulations on everything you would have accomplished, including your graduation. We at GMSKN are proud of you.
Thank you so much.
continue on
Thank
the
you
good
for having
path.
me.
Thanks
You're
for being here.
No problem.
GMSKN Nation, Blessina Charles, do support. Much more after the break. Stay tuned.
Do you know that common baked goods such as bread and crackers are high in salt? Get salt smart.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
As we close out the month of October, today Karina and I will be giving you a recap on how our month went. Comment below to let us know about your October highlights. So Karina, I'll give you the first glass of champagne. What are some of the highlights from the month of October for you?
Some of the... I have my fake glass of champagne. You know, I think for me, being here at Good Morning SKN has been a really good highlight because I've always been the type of person that has stage fright. I'm very behind the scenes type of person.
I could never tell.
Oh, yes, trust me. It takes a lot for me to literally get on the stage. But no, I think it's really excited to try something new. I have a Path to 30 plan. And so my Path to 30 plan is to try something new every month. And I guess
this is something
right at the end of the month, it decided to happen. So I'm grateful for that.
Nice.
What about you?
My highlights for the month, I would say. What are my highlights for the month? I don't even know. Oh, one of my highlights for the month, I do know. I hosted GMSKN on my own one day, and would you believe it? I was nervous, but I hid the nervousness and I got over it. Nobody would know I was nervous. It's funny enough, because I put up a big old show and a big old face, as they say, you have to act.
Right.
So maybe I got my Golden Globe on that day, but that was my biggest highlight for the month.
I watched that episode and I actually remember saying that you did a fantastic job. So girl power.
Indeed.
Outside of that, did you try anything new this month?
Anything new this month? What did I try new? Oh my gosh. No, I didn't try anything new this month. I was thinking about this all the time. I don't think I tried anything new this month, no. No.
I typically, well, this month I actually tried to make bread from scratch.
How did that work out?
I made a rosemary and cheese focaccia bread.
Oh, nice.
But the thing is, I'm not really like a bread maker, so I accidentally called it ciabatta. And someone called me out and they were like, this is actually focaccia bread. But it tasted good, I think. So.
Good stuff. So next time you have to bring some to the studio because, you know, I'm a foodie and I can be a judge. I can taste and tell you.
We'll have a little bake-off.
Indeed. So what are you grateful for this month?
I am grateful for the fact that for the holiday season, some of my family that I haven't seen in a long time are coming. So I had come from a very, very big family.
Nice.
And over the last few months, we've all been like messaging in our big group chat, like, okay, who's coming, who's coming, who's coming? But now it's actually coming to life, which I'm excited about. We have about a 40-person Christmas Day dinner. And that's just family. So it'll be like a mini birthday party in and of itself for Jesus, I guess.
Nice. So do you celebrate Halloween, or are you celebrating Halloween tonight?
I think I stopped celebrating it once I graduated from university. I wish I was one of those people that was creative enough to do that. But I'm more of like a stay at home and read a book and then like look online and see everybody's like inventive costumes as opposed to actually making them myself.
But I don't get that vibe, like stay at home person from you.
Really?
I never got that vibe.
I'm what they call an ambivert.
Okay.
An introverted extrovert.
Oh yes, you mix the two. You mix
exactly.
Oh, so shall we talk about October trends? Did you jump on any of those?
Did I jump on any October trends? I really tried to get into celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Wearing pink on a Friday, just, you know, making sure that my staff and I were all, you know,
Breast cancer.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I did the walk. I will say that's the one thing I wish I did get involved in, but I think next year I definitely want to get ahead of that and get involved.
We'll start early. I know who's in charge now, so I can contact them. As she said, they do events all year round, so I can say from January, please save my shirt. Here's my $60.
Correct. Well, I'll do it with you then.
Indeed, we can do that. We can definitely do that together. Well, the same thing I did for the October trend. I wore pink. This is the last day of the breast cancer month, so I'm saluting them with pink and my tag. Cancer continues into next month, so I'm going to continue to wear this tag until. So that's the only trend I think I did for October, and I got back on the exercise train trend. Yes.
Good for you.
So, yeah.
I've been needing to do that too, so I'll use you as inspiration.
You go, girl. We can definitely do that. Yeah, so that's two of the trends, because I don't do I do my own little dance, but I don't do the TikTok trends, because I'm not on TikTok, I'm not on Instagram.
I'm a TikTok observer, and like, similarly to my ambivertedness, like I'm a be in bed by 9:45 at night type person. And if you ask anybody that lives with me, you could hear from my room me scrolling through TikTok for hours. Now, I've never made a TikTok in my whole life. I don't even know how.
You should make one with Marley even.
I should.
Yeah.
We have a new dog too.
You do?
I do.
Are you going to bring it back?
I will bring her back. I'll bring her back for a little show and tell. She knows a little bit more tricks than Marley. So I think we'll be able to like wow the viewers with
nice.
The GMSKN pups.
Yes, indeed, the celebrity pups. Ooh. So we're just 2 months away from ending the year. Do you have any outstanding goals you wish to accomplish?
That is a good question. I think that, I'm supposed to be reading 2 books a month, and in October, I actually just read 1 book. So I think an easy goal is just like 2 books. The other thing is that I was really good at like working out in the beginning of the year, and then summer happened and you travel and you're like, 1 more week where I don't do that and whatever. So I think at least getting to the gym once.
Yeah.
You
have to try.
Yeah, you got to start slow. What about you?
Oh, for me, I have to get my savings on fleek. So as Marquisa said, I'll be coming to First Federal. I need to get my weight back in order. And what else do I need to do? I need to get my Spanish to the fluency that I needed to be at. So that is what,
I like that one. Yep. All right, from now on, you're going to speak Spanish with me.
Yes. So, hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Estás bien?
Estoy bien. Wait, no. God, I need to. Good. I need to brush up on my Spanish. My sister always says, she's like, I think Karina is really good at Spanish, but she's hiding it. I have stage fright when it comes to Spanish.
You do? I don't know why Karina is trying to sell the stage fright, folks, because it's not working here. I have not sensed any stage fright from her at any point that she would have been here. Oh my God. You know what? You asked me about trying something new this month. I actually didn't try it. I had to do it. And I don't mean this in a bad way, boss lady. Caribbean connections. So talking to people from different countries, learning new cultures. So I did do something new.
Yes.
I just had to.
And there were some really good episodes this month with Caribbean Connections, especially Pavilion Plus.
Oh my gosh.
Jeune Creole. I really liked that episode.
Nice.
And it actually like convinced me. I've been wanting to go to St. Lucia for a very long time, and I think that definitely like got me into the feel of going there and actually experiencing it one day. Plus, I saw it all over social media, so I think it would be really something nice.
We also speak to the folks, some ladies from Dominica, about their World Creole Festival.
Correct.
And would you believe it? I have my best friend's sister, she lives in Dominica, and I've been like stalking her statuses, because she's just like night 1 into day 2, and then she's like night 2 and it's really what the lady said. That's exactly what they're doing. And then her sister lives in Dubai, and she'd be like, next year we have to go home, we have to go to Dominica, because the food is just the sandcoach, the crab backs,
everything.
So I have enjoyed that. And some of the episodes and the guests that we would have had this month, the Prime Minister was here.
That was a huge episode for you guys. I watched the whole entire thing, and you guys did a fantastic job.
Again.
It was great. Lots of good content for this month, and I think next month will definitely be an exciting
Greater
month.
content, huh? Greater content.
Exactly. Greater content. Greater content. And we're heading into the holiday season, so it's my favorite time of the year.
It's beginning to look a lot like turkey and Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah, I actually have a Thanksgiving dinner coming up on the 25th here in St. Kitts.
Oh, like a Friendsgiving.
Yeah, well, they're Americans, so they're bringing it to us. So yeah, I'm just joining in. I think that's the first time I've ever done a Thanksgiving, so I'm looking forward to that.
Right,
so I'm baking up my famous macaroni pie, and I'm walking with something in the hand, you know?
Oh, well, you better be careful with that turkey because, you know, it gives you the itis. As soon as you have it, listen, count down 45 minutes and you will be wanting to take a nap.
But that's my thing, you know. I don't really like it, so I'm just gonna have a slim piece.
Right.
But I'm just gonna be leaning over where, you know, the champ people are hanging out.
Priorities, right?
Yes, indeed. GMSK Nation, there you had it for a Loosen Up. Today, we have so much more. Up next, a conversation about dyslexia. Do stay tuned.
Some veggies for dinner. Let me just check the amount of sodium in this can. Oh no, this is too much. Let me try a next option. They did say it's healthy to consume less salt. This is much better. I am salt smart.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me go!
Let go what? Yeah, let's see what real happen. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
So you mentioned something about a lump.
Babe, I just felt something on the left side of your breast. Tell me if you feel it.
Do you do your self-breast examinations monthly?
No, I don't.
Well, women are supposed to examine their breasts once monthly. Let me show you how. When at home, you can check while standing in the shower or while lying down. Simply place a pillow under your right shoulder and your right arm behind your head. Using your left hand, move the pads of your fingers around your right breast, gently covering the entire breast area and armpit. Use light, medium, and firm pressure. Squeeze the nipple and check for discharge and lumps. I did find a lump in the upper left breast. I am not sure what this means. Therefore, I need to refer you to the DMO or you can see your private physician. The doctor is going to examine you and recommend an ultrasound or a mammogram. Listen, not every lump is cancer. 80 to 85% of the time, the lumps found are benign. That means they are non-cancerous. Lumps in the female breast or armpit can be non-cancerous tissue growth or fluid buildup.
or a number of things that can present themselves at various times. But sometimes it's a sign of cancer. That is why I am referring you to see the doctor.
Okay, nurse. Thanks for your help.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moment Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
Good morning, SKN, and welcome back. People with dyslexia are great conversationalists and excel in many other fields. Would you believe that 6-time Emmy Award-winning journalist Anderson Cooper struggled to read as a young boy? The genius Albert Einstein, the late Robin Williams, and Cher, Keira Knightley, Sir Richard Branson all have dyslexia. However, this had not stopped them from achieving the highest and all that their life had to offer. As a fun fact, according to BBC research, 40% of self-made millionaires have dyslexia. The exact causes of dyslexia are still not clear, but to help educate us and shine some light on this topic is Mrs. Nicole Ward Morris, Learning Support Coordinator from the Education Department. Mrs. Ward Morris, thank you so much for joining us on this segment of Good Morning SKN. We're happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. Really happy. Good morning.
Good. So I think one of the easiest questions is educating people on what dyslexia is.
Yes. I think persons think that dyslexia is a disability, and I'm glad that you started the way that you started because it really isn't a disability. Okay. I don't prefer. It's a learning difficulty, and it affects the brain. And so it's nothing that children they can't try harder. It's not that they're lazy. It's just how the brain is processing what they're reading, what they're receiving, either through their eyes, through their ears, how it gets that information that causes the problem. That's what dyslexia is. It's a difficulty, a learning difficulty affected by the brain. It affects their reading ability, their writing ability, their spelling ability, their comprehension ability, all these affect. It's a language deficit. That's the issue. It's a language deficit.
That's it. So what are some of the common causes of dyslexia?
Well, most research has shown that it is hereditary. More times than not, it is passed down through generations, or sometimes it's caused by maybe a traumatic accident, something that would have. It could be even an emotional, right, that caused that to happen to the person, but it's nothing that they have control over at all. It's nothing that you can get medication for. You can't get treatment for it at all. It's not like that. It's not a disease.
Right.
Right. So I would say that's it, genetics or some traumatic accident, something that would have happened to you.
A follow-up question before we continue. You said, in terms of treatment, you said there's no treatment you can get. So how does one with dyslexia manage the condition?
persons with dyslexia vary like from case to case and age to age. It depends on the home and the school, well, and the community, working as one to assist the children. Could even show up in adults, and it really depends on how much work, how much intervention is done early on, because there are signs from very, very early. So parents would have to do their part at home, reading to the child, games. I mean, we have come so far. There are games, there are songs that can teach them the different sounds, and it all depends on, like I said, the severity depends from, differ from person to person. And so you develop coping mechanisms, actually, because some persons go through almost their entire lives not knowing that they are dyslexic because they've learned to cope. I did not know this letter. I found a way to know how to write this letter. I did not know this sound. I listened it so often that I know how to cope with saying this particular sound. So it's a matter of individuals, parents, teachers doing intervention in order to assist persons with dyslexia. And you said earlier, you listed a few of them, a few persons, famous persons, persons we know from television, Albert Einstein and all those persons. They are dyslexic. And look at them. George Washington, he's dyslexic. He has a serious spelling disability. And look at them. They've made their mark. And so, it's not something that should be feared.
Yes.
It's just something that we need to cope with and learn to maneuver.
Right.
I like that, maneuver.
Right.
Yes.
Let's talk misconceptions. So you've used the word sound a few times. A lot of people think that dyslexia only affects your ability to read and write. Is there truth to this statement?
And spell. Dyslexia, it may, television has a way of showing you persons with dyslexia, and on the screen you see the words rolling around. It's not always like that.
Okay.
All right, so I might look on the board and I see a particular thing, and I go down and I begin to write. And when I look up, it's not there anymore. And so it has to do with, like, some persons write the letter B and mistake it for the D, or you write a P and you mistake it for the Q, and they mix up the letter sounds. And so it's a language disorder. It affects comprehension. You're reading, and persons with dyslexia have to read several times before the content is understood.
Right.
Oh, I might be dyslexic.
I thought so to myself too. I said I might be dyslexic too.
Yeah, and the thing is, the severity, it wavers.
Yes.
It's dependent on, how much intervention really goes on from the onset.
Yes.
And it's important that persons don't just sit back and say, man, you could learn the thing if you just try a little harder.
Yes.
Parents need to understand, and that's the thing. There's a stigma attached. Now I can say without a doubt, we have more persons being identified right through the test that we do. There's a dyslexia screening test.
Right.
Usually it's my roommate, Mrs. Michelle Jacobs. I think she was on your show sometime.
Yes.
She's the one who usually would do the test, because we try to catch them as early as possible.
Right.
So she deals with the primary school, I deal with the secondary school. And so she would go in and carry it. And there are lots of children who are dyslexic, even reaching high school, and they've not been identified. It's only now it's time for them to write the CXC subjects, and we realize these children really can't write. Everything is jumbled for some. And so you need somebody who's going to write for them.
Right.
And that is allowed. Now CXC,
that's nice.
they
That's
allow
nice.
that, but the person must be diagnosed.
Right.
Yes.
And so it is important to get this done.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back to continue our discussion on dyslexia.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who can support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen?
Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We continue our discussion on the important topic of dyslexia with Ms. Nicole Ward Morris, Learning Support Coordinator from the Education Department. During the break, we were talking about dyslexia affecting one's intellect. Can you shed some light or shine some light on that?
Dyslexia does not affect a person's intelligence. You can be one of the smartest persons, but you're dyslexic. You mix up the letters. You need to do things more than others. You need more time with the information in order to understand it. And we said it earlier, some of the smartest, some of the most famous persons out there are dyslexic, you know, and so I want parents to understand that. It does not affect them. Some of them are crafty, really, really good. Some are good mathematicians if they don't have dyscalculia. That's another sign of another one of the dyslexic areas. But they excel once given the proper help, not treatment, but help. They can excel. They can be famous.
Right.
So I want persons to understand that.
Right. Yeah. And I think another thing to remember is that reading disabilities like dyslexia or disabilities like dyslexia can also be comorbid with other disabilities as well. Can you shed some light on that as well?
Okay, as I said earlier, I prefer not to call it a disability, but it's a learning difficulty. I prefer it that way. Persons who have dyslexia, it becomes frustrating, if they don't have the correct coping mechanisms, it becomes frustrating. So you might have some behavioral issues in the classroom because a child does not want to be called on to read.
Yes.
You might have it mixed with attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. I just don't want to sit here. I don't want to be doing all this reading. I'm looking at the page and these words, they're really not making any sense to me. So to prevent teacher from calling on me and making me feel embarrassed, I cause some trouble in the classroom.
Right.
And so I either get sent out of the classroom or teacher knows better than to call on me at all. But if students are made to understand, the stigma is only removed and students are made to understand you can do this and they are helped, not even just told that they can, but they are helped within the classroom, then a lot of these things can be eliminated, all right? And so yes, they have other issues that they have to deal with because it's a struggle.
Right.
Nobody wants to be in a classroom where I don't know what's happening here, or I can't express myself properly because I can't, the words are not, instead of me saying the F is coming out, and I'm instead of me saying animal, I'm saying aminal, and then the class goes up in uproar. And so that stigma needs to be removed so that students are comfortable where they are and that they know, okay, I can do that. They're given the space. One-on-one it's really important for children with dyslexia because they don't want to be put in a position again where I say they feel embarrassed because my classmates now feel like, hey, he can't. When really it isn't that I can't, it's that I'll take a little longer than you to get it done, you know? And so, yes, it comes with a variant of other issues. But, like I said, if given the correct coping, and I keep stressing that, parents, teachers, they need to understand that. They need to help these children. They're not lazy. It's not that they're lazy. It's not that if I try harder, I am going to get it done. It's just that I need to learn this differently to how you teach the rest of the class. And once we get that understood and we learn the correct teaching strategies, it will work. It will work.
So you spoke on stigma. Let's continue along those lines. How can we break that stigma concerning dyslexia?
First of all, I think parents need to stop being ashamed and stop being in denial. Children are different. And the sad thing is that some parents know that they themselves struggle, but they think if I invest more, if I push you a little harder, you should be better than me. But the sad reality is that so many persons have gone on not being diagnosed that they really do not know. So persons need to be educated. It is not a disease. It is not a disability. It doesn't stop me from living and being great. It doesn't stop me from being great. You know, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, Albert Einstein who started talking about every man.
Yes.
We're intelligent. We're all intelligent.
He's a dyslexic.
But if you give a fish a tree, if you tell a fish to climb a tree, then what are you really doing? You understand? You know, you're setting me up to fail.
Yes.
And so parents, teachers need to understand that these are intelligent children, children who can climb the ladder just like everybody else.
Indeed.
You know, but I need the help from the persons around me. So once we begin to understand that these people are not sick, you know, it's a brain. It's how the brain is processing it. I'm seeing it on the board. Yes, it's there. It's right there. But when it gets to the brain, it's not. No, it can't make sense of it. I'm hearing you saying the word animal, but my brain is processing it as aminal, and I can't seem to, unless I learn this by rote, and I keep saying it, and you teach me, you keep telling me the correct way, then I will continue to say aminal. I will continue to write the B as a D, the P as a Q. I'll mix up the sounds unless you teach me.
Indeed.
So we need to get it out into the public.
Education is important.
So you started out, I loved how you started out. You know, you pointed on to all these people who, they're famous. I mean, President, Judge, Washington. I mean, these people have been out there making their mark, indelible mark, and they are dyslexic. So if we say to children, look at these people, show them who they have that they can look up to. Well, if this person can do it,
I can do it too.
I am sure that I can do it too. And there are persons in our very own community, I am positive.
Yes.
You know, who are dyslexic. They're holding their own.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed, but not sure the correct name. I'm trying to remember his correct name. Licky Bud.
Carlton Dupont?
I remember going to him when we were having a reading competition, and he said, I am ever so happy to pour into these kind of events because I had a reading issue as well. But look at him standing his own and doing his own thing, you know.
Yes, indeed.
And we have persons around us that we can look up to.
Yes.
And know, hey, it's not the end of the world.
Yes.
There is still room for me to excel. And children need to know that. Parents need to know that their children are not lost.
Yes, indeed,
That's certainly important, and we appreciate you coming here and shedding some light on learning difficulties such as dyslexia. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we'll be right back after this break.
It was a pleasure.
Ours too.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao bango.
Good morning, SKN. Thank you so much for joining us today and allowing for me to guest host the show this morning. Tune in daily where you'll find a little bit of everything for everyone. Get your friends and family to watch and remember to follow us on our social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube at Studio 327 Inc. and Instagram at Good Morning SKN. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, and share. And also check out our website at studio327inc.com to learn more about Good Morning SKN and Studio 327.
And this is a part where we always ask you to leave us a comment and let us know what was your favorite part of today's show. Yes, and this is where we say thank you to Karina for guest hosting today. Jamie, get well soon. See you tomorrow, Tuesday
Get well.
at 8 a.m. when you will start your morning with us. Yes, us again, right here on Good Morning SKN. Thanks for watching as usual. Have a great day, guys. See you tomorrow.
High five.
We did that.